Hey there, food fans. Welcome back to the Food for ThoughtCast with me, your host, Melissa Reagan, and my co-host with the most, Chef Steven Gonzalez. What's up, my guy?
Hi, how's it going?
Hello.
I had to
How's
do a
it
cough before.
going? I know. I was like, well, why is this loud thing in my ears? What's
Hey, it's
happening?
going. Hi, how's everything going? It's well. How are you?
Yeah, you know,
How's your holiday? Did
uh,
you-
my what?
Your holiday? Did you have
My
fun?
holiday. I thought
Christmas
you
holiday.
said, how was my mole? And I was like, well, I didn't make any, but now I wish I had.
I
Um,
know. Molly's
No, it
good.
was great. It was peaceful and um, quiet and a little bit different this year. And I didn't have to buy anything for anybody, which was really awesome. How about yours?
That's a lovely feeling. Whereas I got guilted into buying presents for people, which, it's cool.
Man.
But it was quiet. I actually ended up having Christmas Eve off and Christmas Day. So
Mm,
shout out to my boss
nice.
for being super awesome about that.
Nice.
Hey, I asked and he gave it, so it was a long shot and he granted that wish. So kudos to him. Awesome boss.
I worked a little bit late on Christmas Eve, which wasn't any big deal. I had some things to finish, and I really wanted to continue a tradition that I'd been trying to make a tradition and trying to get started in my own life, which is going to Waffle House and then eating dinner on Christmas Eve and then tipping ridiculously big because I'm honestly, you could change somebody's life. I'm not a saint or anything, but like it could be a really meaningful gesture. And anyway, the Waffle House here screwed it up and ruined Christmas because they were only doing to-go orders.
Well, there
And
goes their tip.
yeah, and they were really rude about it when I walked in the door, like I was supposed to have a prior knowledge of it. And I was like, okay, Merry Christmas, bye. Like you're lost. Like I had $100 here for a meal that was going to cost 13, but that's okay. Like I'll take my business elsewhere. So I door dashed a McRib and some chicken nuggets because America, because America, and it's the only thing that was open. It's probably the saddest
At
Christmas
least
Eve
you
meal
didn't
I've
get into
ever
a
had.
fist fight. That would have added insult to injury.
Wait, what did you say, Steve?
I said at least you didn't get into a fist fight. Isn't that what they're known for?
I, well, yeah, and hash browns, but delicious.
No, but how did the hash browns come out of fist fights from Waffle
Well,
House?
because Waffle House, you said, isn't that what they're known for? I said, yeah, the fist fights and the
Oh, they're
hash
known
browns.
for. Oh, see, I wouldn't know because I've never eaten at a Waffle House,
Wah.
and I hate myself for it. I really want to go to one day, but one day.
I'm gonna do a GoFundMe for you to go to a Waffle House.
What's the matter with travel outside of West Texas?
We'll start
There's not a Waffle
a
House out here,
Kickstarter for Steven to go try a Waffle House.
right? That's
So, but yeah, no, Christmas Day went well. How was your Christmas dinner? What all did you end up making?
okay. So we did rack a lamb, and my mother-in-law got me some awesome Turkish like spice blend. So I used that as a marinade with some olive oil, a little bit of
Okay, nice.
lime juice, and no oranges. I'm sorry, and it came out super good, tender as can be, and very flavorful. It was like coriander, paprika, garlic. I don't even remember what else, but it was good. It was super good, and we made like duck fat mashed potatoes. We made
Yes.
cream corn. My wife wanted me to make a apple and cheddar pie, bread pudding. What else did I make? There was a couple, like there was like one other thing. Everything was really good, except I was not that up on the desserts. Like when you got a bread pudding, you kind of just throw everything together, and it's like it's always really good. It just it didn't do it for me. I don't
What
know.
was it? What was in it?
So we added like frozen cherries, dried cherries.
Do you soak your cherries before you use them in the dessert? Like rehydrate them?
I should have. I
Mm.
should have. Looking back on it, like I didn't because I was like, it'll be fine. It'll all absorb and be delicious. No, yeah, that's what I get for cutting corners on that one. So yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. It was still good. Keyword not great. Mm,
Hey, you know what, Steven? Can't win them all.
Again, they all can be zingers.
It's not all zingers. I had dessert for breakfast on Christmas Day,
Oh, I love
essentially.
that.
I bought myself a Christmas present. It was a new nonstick skillet. And when I say nonstick, she was so smooth that when I made the first pancake in it, I just flipped it in the air. Like I didn't touch it with a utensil. I was like, yes, this is amazing. You know, a whole like $9.80 12-inch skillet. So I made one big pancake with sugar-free dark chocolate chips and blueberries. So
I love that.
yeah, that was like my breakfast at noon. I'm hyper fixated on pancakes right now, which means in 2 weeks I won't be able to look at one. But it's been a steady 2.5 weeks of like eating one pancake every day. So I have this recipe that I found on the internet. It's gonna sound a little bit crazy, but hear me out. So in the magic bullet, I put 113 grams of cottage cheese. Hold, please.
Holding.
Whatever's in the backyard, the dogs aren't happy about it. So it's 113 grams of cottage cheese, 123 grams of egg beaters or liquid egg or egg white, like whichever, pick your thing, right? And then 50 grams of oats, sweetener of choice, and I put like hella cinnamon in mine. Blend it until it's completely smooth, and it basically makes a pancake this big that ends up having like 37 grams of protein in it.
Oh wow!
So I had that at noon on Christmas, and I've done them every day. I've done apple cinnamon oat. I've done strawberries and cream. I've done chocolate chip. I've done blueberry. Like I have done all sorts. I've put chai seasoning in the pancake batter. I don't know. Chives? Oh, gross. Oh, I mean,
it's savory pancake.
It was like the scallion pancake, sure. But no. No, it's been all about like this. It feels like a naughty dessert for breakfast or lunch or whatever. And so it's really good. And it's getting colder here. So it's nice, stick to your ribs breakfast, like a big pancake. And then for dinner on Christmas, I did Brussels sprouts with, I did roasted Brussels sprouts with Parmesan and garlic. And I did sweet potatoes and carrots with a little bit of maple and cinnamon and butter. And I did, I went the easy route, Steve. I bought like a ham steak. So I cut it in four. Basically got like 4 triangles out of it, essentially. I seared it really hard in that new nonstick skillet, pulled it out, had all the little hammy bits and ham juice in there. I had like a tablespoon of jalapeno jelly left over in the bottom of a jar from Thanksgiving. From the cheese, from the little cheese snacks that I put out. And so I hit that, little bit of butter, little brown sugar, little soy sauce, little maple, made a sweet and spicy glaze, put the ham back in it. It was phenomenal. It was
we also had
really good. I forgot about that. It was really good.
Nice.
So I wasn't disappointed. It basically made enough for 1 plate and then 2 to-go boxes or 2 like meal prep containers of Christmas dinner, essentially. So
I like that. That sounds lovely.
It was lovely and quiet. It was a little bit different, but I'm going to celebrate Christmas. I just skipped it, just like my birthday. So I'll celebrate it later on.
No big deal. Fair enough. Yeah.
What are you going to do? What was the most amazing thing you ate this week, Steve?
I have to think about that one now.
It's that weird in between time where we don't really know what day it is or what week it is.
Can I say it was a marinated lamb chop with duck fat mashed potatoes and cream corn? And
you can say whatever you want.
No. So okay, that was last week, right? So then this week, what I did was we got some of that leftover ham.
Yes.
I diced it all up, or not all of it. I got a couple slices, diced it up, and heated that up with some cheese, some mayo, and like the fougasse bread, where it looks like it's like the four and all that.
Yes.
So I threw that in the oven, took it out, and then cut it into like individual and like hollowed that out, and then put all that ham mixture in there.
Ooh.
Bruh, that was good. Holy cow, that was good. I had to think about that one. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yes.
It sounds amazing.
And then we downed it with I downed it with some red wine, some sparkling water, and some dark chocolate.
What are you gonna do? I mean, that sounds like that's it. It's sorted.
Probably, yeah. It's holiday, meals.
For anybody out there who hasn't had a fougasse bread, it is it's pretty spectacular. It's just kind of in the same vein of like baguettes and sourdoughs, things that are made with levain, like a two
outside and
stage.
soft and,
Yeah, like it's a 2-stage dough. It's like a really crackly exterior, really chewy, but like a lot of little air pockets too. And
so disgustingly good.
it's a more like an old world bread technique. And if you've never tried it, you should go find it and get on that. It's probably at a bakery is where you'll find it. So yeah.
Even if you can't eat bread, you're gonna try it and be like, this is amazing.
Hey, honestly, like I really never tire of hearing the things they can make gluten free. Like there are people who legitimately need it gluten free, and like it's getting so good. There are a lot of recipes that are like 1-to-1 sub that are really have come a long way. They don't taste like cardboard, or they're not like weird texture or anything. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Some of the ones I've had still have like that super chewy texture, but we're getting there. We're stepping in the right direction.
It's come a long way.
Yeah, I mean, people
are. It's come a really long way.
What about you? What's the most amazing thing you had?
Well, I sent you a picture the other night of I took some leftover taco meat, and it was kind of boring. It was very white people taco-y. I made it in between grocery runs. So it was essentially like all I had was leftover salsa, cumin, chili powder, and onion, garlic, salt, pepper. And I did it in the crock pot. It really didn't have enough flavor for my liking. So I took all that juice from the crock pot and reduced it down as far as I could until I thought it might become salty, and put the meat back in there, and then froze it to use for assorted things. And so I had done kind of like a sheet pan nacho, but like on home fries. So I home fried little cubes of potatoes, and then put the meat, the cheese, black olives, and jalapenos on top, and did it under the broiler. And then I ate it with like street taco tortillas. So like little baby tortillas.
Nice.
And that was pretty good, except that I get really bored sometime after I eat something for the second time. So yeah, I had it for dinner and lunch, and that was it. So today I took all the chicken and potatoes and put it in a pot of chicken broth, added cream cheese, corn, and jalapenos to it, and made like spicy chicken corn chowder.
Sounds pretty
not
good.
Disappointed. So that was the most amazing thing I had this week. I had a bowl the size of your face. I had it for dinner today, and it was phenomenal. So
that's a pretty big bowl because I have a pretty big face.
It's a pretty big bowl. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what these bowls in this set of dishes are for, but I can tell you that it's not intended for soup or cereal. But that's what they get used for, because there's no good in between. I feel like the bowls that came with the dishes for the cereal are like maybe a cup and a half, which is not.
Yeah.
They're like really cute, but I'm like, this is for condiments.
Well, sometimes these things happen, and now you have background commentary from unannounced guests.
Sometimes I just hope it's a bear in the backyard to make it worth whatever amount of noise.
Yeah, right. You're gonna hear barking, then you're gonna hear squealing or whimpering, because I know dogs don't squeal, but I would imagine if I was a dog trying to go up against a bear, I would squeal.
Like, what are you doing? What is the problem? Go away.
That's why
starved for attention over here.
That's why I'm in a secluded room where dogs cannot bug me.
Well, my dogs own this. My dogs own this house, and I get to live in a couple rooms of it, so there's no seclusion.
They're always a welcome distraction.
Always. True story. Hey, but anyway, Steve, guess what we're talking about today?
Huh?
Christmas dinners from around the world, my guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Last year we talked about
Christmas. I love it.
We talked about the foods from Christmas music and Christmas lyrics and Christmas literature, but I thought it might be fun, even though Christmas Day has technically passed. If you observe a 12 days of Christmas, like a bunch of people do, we're still in Christmas time. So it's that funky space between Christmas Day and New Year's, like I said, where all meals are cheese and nobody knows what day it is. So yeah, I thought it would be really fun to kind of explore what goes on in other countries as far as Christmas dinner is concerned. And I have I have a handy dandy list here. It's like 19 places, so not expecting anything super deep, but I think we can get some fun out of it.
Okay. Tell me about it.
All right.
What's number one?
All right. So these aren't in any specific order, but the first country listed is Mexico. Can you guess what Christmas
Better
dinner?
not say tamales.
It's tamales.
I am very offended. I know so many bad jokes about it because I myself have heard and said those jokes many times.
Well, it doesn't change the data. It's still a common Christmas Day meal in Mexico.
So yeah, no, it's called a tamalada, and that's where like everyone in your family gets together and they make tamales, and it's a magical time. I only know this from experience because every December, someone on my dad's side of the family would get a deer. They'd grind it up with some pork meat, and all the ladies would be in the kitchen making.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Dozens of tamales, and it was magic.
It sounds so amazing.
And I would eat them with ketchup because I was 5 years old.
I still eat them with ketchup because I'm 5 years old at heart.
But yeah, no, I can totally remember that. And then we would go home with so many tamales as well. And my grandma would spearhead that entire thing. And all the ladies, all my aunts and my mom and everyone who was there, they would all just fall into line and make tamales. I never saw it myself because I was too busy watching TV with my cousins.
I love it. I love it so much. As I scroll through this list, Steve, I see that turkey is mentioned a couple of times. And so I wanted to share something interesting that I learned this week. I always listen to a variety of podcasts, but a couple that I listen to are put on by the BBC. And the Food Program podcast did kind of an introspective about Charles Dickens and the food that he made popular through his writings, including Christmas Carol and Oliver Twist. Okay. And so they talked about how it's really hard, as you might imagine, to like herd and raise geese. And so geese were this, bird that you could hunt fairly easily, but there wasn't any sort of animal husbandry. And so turkey didn't really become popular throughout other countries besides the United States until the Americans really taught kind of that area of livestock education about how to streamline that process and kind of domesticate the birds, as it were, raising turkeys and chickens. So I thought that was super interesting. And they said that they had quite a few setbacks as they tried to do the same thing with geese, and the geese were like, F off, we don't do that. So I don't know if you've ever seen a goose, but you ain't tell them what to do. So, I don't know. I just thought that was wildly.
They're their own boss.
So through the ages, it went from geese. Usually in the United Kingdom, a typical Christmas dinner would consist of something like, I am so sorry. Does anybody want to adopt 2 dogs?
So did they eventually move over to duck?
So it could have been duck. It definitely would have been geese. Sometimes the meals consist of prawns, which for anybody who doesn't know, that's what every other country calls shrimp, except for us. Mincemeat pies, and then roasted turkey. Nice. And so, but they would sometimes they would flavor their whatever kind of fowl that they were going to use with sausages, whereas Americans will do herbs, stuffing, bread stuffing, or citrus, lemons, oranges, the like, right? But yeah, and then they would roast it on a spit. And so kind of the old saying would go that the goose would be complete. The goose was done cooking when the steam would draw toward the fire. You can't roast birds over a fire because it dries out and it's too hot. So you would just roast in a spit, kind of catty corner facing the fire. And you knew that the bird was done when the steam started to go back toward the fire. Interesting facts that nobody cares about with me.
I'm intrigued.
I'm always intrigued by where our food comes from. I think it's incredibly fascinating. Let's go over to Greece. Can you guess what they eat in Greece for Christmas dinner?
I would imagine a lot of lamb.
Lamb. Ding, 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 ding.
Because I love lamb.
I love lamb so much.
Everybody knows this.
So much. Greece also has a a similar tradition to the United Kingdom. They make something that's really similar to a Christmas pudding, which for everybody that doesn't know, it's probably the closest to an American fruitcake, but it's definitely a sweet bread that usually has like raisins, nuts, citrus, and some sort of alcohol. In Greece, they make Christopopsmolo. I think I said that right. With raisins, nuts, cardamom, and cloves.
Yeah,
And besides the lamb, Steve, they also do brined pork stuffed cabbage rolls. I would crush that really hard.
I think so too. What would if you had to soak this sweetbread with alcohol? What would you use and why?
The Greek one?
Yeah,
I don't know. Probably rum, even though it's not even distinctly Greek. But to me, it goes with all the things that are in it.
it's true.
Eh,
Same here.
I
Same
I
here.
I would venture to say that I'm like, I don't know if what do we think that they soak it with is like ouzo, because
Usual,
that's a really
yeah.
traditional Greek liqueur, but it's so heavily anise flavored that I'm like, does
Same.
that go in dessert? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't want to do Uzo either.
I wouldn't want to do it, but if that's what they use, I'm not going to tell anybody that their tradition is wrong, but I'll just choose not to participate because I hate licorice. So,
Same.
yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. What about over in France? What do you think?
What
What do you
foie
think for
gras,
Christmas Day?
escargot,
Oh my God.
baguettes, coq à vivre, poulet. Comme vous
Mm,
savez.
mm, mm.
I give up.
Kazoo type. These common dishes include for the Christmas holiday in France oysters, prawns, and lobster.
Oysters, prawns, and lobster.
Yeah,
Sign me up. I like all that stuff.
I kind of like all that stuff. What about Germany, Steve? What do you think?
Uh, Schnitzel. They eat lots of schnitzel for Christmas.
So they do potato dumplings, which is,
Spätzle. No,
Spätzle.
Spätzle isn't really
A
potato.
larger, yeah, it's not. You're right. What are
Do
we
they use
thinking of? It's
and
kind of,
pepper?
it must be closer to pierogi, even though pierogies aren't
Yeah.
German.
Do they use sauce and pepper?
What's Hassenpfeffer?
It's rabbit.
Rabbit. I don't think. Well, so it says duck, goose, or rabbit. Yep, as the main course for the Christmas dinner,
Shot
and
in the
then
dark.
and then the sides are things like sausage stuffing, potato dumplings, and red cabbage.
Okay, I'm about
So,
that.
and then they eat stollen. Do you know what stollen is?
Stollen. No, what is it?
It is a long, flat, sweetened bread. So if you think about stollen is to Germany what panettone is to Italy. It has like it's a little bit drier. It has dried fruits in it. It's for the holidays.
Yeah.
So close to our gingerbread, but like much less sweet.
I would still soak that in a lot of alcohol.
I would probably put whipped cream on it. Just
Rum.
saying. And rum. All right, let's go over to Poland. So Christmas Eve dinner is their kind of main event for holiday dining. They have a 12-course meal that includes classic Polish dishes like borscht. You know what borscht is, Steve?
Yeah, that's like a cold red cabbage soup. No.
Yeah, and beet.
There you go. But I thought that was Russian.
I think it's kind of the Eastern European area all has claim to it. They do mushroom soup. They of course do pierogies, and they do poppy seed cake. So all part of their 12 courses. I'm sure that there's some fish in there as well because they like things like herring and the like, right?
Yeah.
You like cold soup a lot more than me, I think I remember.
Do I? Maybe gazpacho, but that's about it.
Vichy swaz you mentioned one time? You don't like it.
I'm not a big Vichy. I mean, like, it's got to be hot. You know, I don't know. To me, like I said, gazpacho is like the only one that I can tolerate cold. Everything else, I'm like, I prefer hot.
I like gazpacho, but I like it in a very, very traditional Spanish style where it's not very tomato heavy. Probably has more cucumber and kind of more bread and olive oil than anything else. I don't really like kind of like the V8 American version. It's really gross. So, what about Austria? What do you think?
I am dumbfounded. What would they make in Austria?
Austria. So, for everybody who doesn't know Austria specifically, you may recognize it from the movie The Sound of Music. So, soccer tort. You remember soccer tort that we made in culinary school?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. So that's a chocolate and apricot flavored cake that originated in Vienna. That is a traditional Christmas treat there. It says that in recent years, roast turkey has grown popular, but one of the most traditional Austrian Christmas menu items is fried carp. Have you ever eaten carp?
Can't say I have. I would though.
It tastes similar to me. It tastes similar to like a freshwater sand bass. But I remember going fishing as a kid and having people tell me like this isn't for eating. Like that's a very American attitude toward a lot of food, right? Like we don't eat this; it's trash. As everybody else will use it, like we don't eat carp; it's not good. Well, a lot of places do, especially over in Europe. So
nice,
yeah. Czech Republic does as well. Eats a lot of carp, and then all of the places and traditions that do like seafood on Christmas Eve, like the seven different fishes, they also utilize carp in those celebrations as well.
Nice.
So, all right, what do you think about New Zealand, Steve?
Well, seeing as how they're surrounded completely by water, I would imagine that's going to tie into what you just said a second ago about seafood for Christmas dinner. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, not only that, but it's warm there. It's on the other side of the hemisphere. On the other hemisphere, as it were, right? It's summertime during Christmas.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was summertime right now.
And for anybody who is watching us on YouTube, I'm wearing a full beanie and a puffer jacket because even though I'm in my dining room, it's freaking cold in here. So I'm right by the window.
It's cool. So, we're supposed to get an Arctic front tomorrow, so we'll see what happens.
What was the high there today?
79, 80, something like that.
The high here was like 60, and then the low will be in the 40s. So I walked the dogs today while the sun was out, and I was like, "Yay, sun!" And then like 4:50, the temperature started dropping. I was like, "Oh God, it's so cold."
That happens.
Yeah, it happens. So yeah, they grill seafood and they get outside. They grill seafood, things like fish and shrimp. So sometimes ham, but they say mostly seafood, and they usually have a barbecue for Christmas lunch. So
I'd be about that.
Yeah.
Shrimp
so it's shrimp. Oh, that's Australia.
Australian. They're right. They're neighbors.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Aussie Nate. Please say that you'll keep listening. Oh God. In Italy, they have the Feast of the Seven Fishes. It is a famous Christmas tradition, and it consists of a 7-course menu, most of the time eaten on Christmas Eve, featuring things like carp. There we go again with carp, octopus, clams, mussels, even fried eel. And then they reserve the final courses for classic Italian desserts like panettone or homemade tiramisu.
Can we go to Italy for Christmas this year?
I want to go really bad. So
let's do it.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to be in an airport around Christmas time, but at some point, yes.
Yeah.
What do you think makes Costa Rican tamales different from Mexican tamales? Any guesses?
Plátanos.
Yes. Banana leaves. So in Costa Rica, they also do tamales at Christmas time, but it is on banana leaves instead of corn husk. The main difference.
That was just a shot in the dark. I am like doing pretty good today. I really am.
Steven, you knew it. You already knew it. It's all good.
Costa Rica. All I know is like they got a lot of plantains and like it's jungles and stuff. It's beautiful over there from what I understand.
Right on. Yeah, I think I've been there one time. It was a cruise ship stop, and there was an area where they either did some inspiration or actual filmed some exterior shots for Jurassic Park. It was like all jungle. Nice. So I was like, yes, this is amazing. You know what my problem is, among a lot of other things, is that if Jurassic Park was real today, I would totally go.
You'd be that one person who like.
I'd be that one
knowingly
person.
going into the danger.
I would be that one person. I would be like that Jimmy Buffett, like trying to save my drinks as the dinosaurs are like escaping and attacking. So.
Well, seeing as how this is a 2-person show, I will let you go. And if it was real, I would ban you from going.
But who will carry on the podcast legacy?
I'm boring by myself.
I
need
want
someone to make me fun.
I want to pet a dinosaur, Steven. Stop crapping on my dreams, Steven. I want to pet a dinosaur.
We will figure something out.
All right, let's go over to the Philippines. What do you think they do for Christmas dinner?
Lumpia.
Lumpia. Not listed here. That doesn't mean it's not featured, but one of their big traditions. Lechon. It's a roasted suckling pig. Yeah.
Heck yeah, buddy.
It's a roasted suckling pig. So in the Spanish-speaking countries, you'll also hear it called cochinillo. So roasted suckling pig is amazing and delicious. They had a huge feast on Christmas Eve right around midnight. They also set the table with the spring rolls, which is lumpia, which you mentioned, fruits, salads, pastas, and cheeses, which I'm down. I now want to go there for Christmas dinner. So have you ever had the roasted suckling pig that's like with the crispy skin still on the outside?
Yes.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. I think my wife broke a tooth on something like that one time.
Oh, no.
Or she cracked it. She didn't break. Yeah, it's a break.
Oh, jeez.
Crack break. Yeah, it's really bad.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
It ruined Christmas.
I especially felt bad because nothing happened to me. But when she said, ooh, I was like, oh, crap.
I don't think she would like you telling me that story.
Yeah. That's all that matters.
All right. We have to talk about Argentina real quick because this is blowing my mind right now. Argentina, they celebrate Christmas with a variety of dishes, but they almost always include the Italian classic, viteltone. Can you guess what this is? I don't think you can guess.
Lamb.
It's a cold dish featuring thinly sliced veal and capers. I'm okay up to this point. In a creamy tuna sauce. You lost me at creamy tuna sauce.
I would try that.
Oh, I bet you would.
A friend of mine who taught me how to cook too, she ate a ton of lamb and chimichurri. So every time I think of Argentina, that's all I think of is chimichurri and lamb. That's it.
I love chimichurri, and I would crush chimichurri and lamb or chimichurri and veal, but like, why does it have to be creamy tuna sauce? Like, I'm done. You ruined Christmas. Thank you. Bye.
I'm gonna try it.
I can't because I can't even I can hardly open a can or a packet of tuna. I don't think you understand how bad it is. I'll eat tuna poke, like maki roll.
Yeah, that's different.
All day long, but when you cook it, I'm done.
It's dry.
I'm done. All right. So all the countries that are Eastern Orthodox, like I mentioned, the 12 days of Christmas and whatnot, when you start getting into different religious traditions, calendars, you'll find that some places celebrate Christmas on a different day. So when we go to a place like Armenia, they celebrate Christmas on January 7th, and their traditional dinner is a huge pumpkin that's only eaten on Christmas, and it's stuffed with rice, raisins, nuts, and honey, and then it's roasted until it's golden brown.
Rice, raisins, nuts. That sounds good.
Yeah, he's in. He was like, you have me at pumpkin. I could have said it's a pumpkin full of dog dew, and Steven would be like, it's pumpkin.
Well, the problem, though, is I would dress up like I was for Halloween because I would think pumpkins. So I'd be celebrating a pagan holiday on a Christian holiday. And that would be magnificent.
You could argue that the consumerism has made both days into something pagan, but we won't. How about Japan, Steve? What do you think is a really popular Christmas food in Japan?
Sushi.
It's not.
I
Guess
know, but
it's
I don't
not.
know Japanese cuisine too well.
3.6 million Japanese citizens, according to this article, which must mean it's true, celebrate Christmas with a bucket of crispy fried chicken from KFC.
Bum, ba,
Bum,
bum.
bum, bum, bum.
Damn, that sounds good.
Yeah, thanks to an extremely successful marketing campaign in the 70s, folks have flocked to the fast food giant for party buckets on Christmas.
But I can imagine that they probably make their fried chicken
It
a heck
probably
of a
tastes
lot
so much
better.
better.
Yeah. It's probably like tempura fried chicken, you know?
It is probably like karage. Like I bet the breading's better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They
So
make everything better than us. So they're living in like 2067 right now. And we're barely in 2024.
they are in the future.
Yeah.
Well, I told Steven I tried a fried chicken treat the other day, and he said gross, and he said he was disappointed in me.
I did.
I tried the Taco Bell chicken nuggets, and they were delicious. And I don't care what you think, Steven.
Still disappointed.
I don't care. They're
My
delicious.
argument holds no
And
water.
I'm gonna eat them again. I'm telling you right now.
I'm still disappointed.
That's okay. It's not the first time I'll disappoint you, and it won't be the last time, so don't worry. All right. Hey, Steve, Christmas dinner in Sweden. It's all about the buffet. The table is filled with a 3-course meal. Well, to me, that's not a buffet, but whatever. Consisting of fish, often pickled herring. Have you ever had pickled herring, Steve?
I have not. I want to, though.
I'm sure that
I haven't had it because it has the word pickle in it, even though it's probably not like pickled like a cucumber.
they probably use. Can somebody out there tell us? Like, I don't. Yeah, I would probably like it. I like weird things like that. It's also cold cuts, ham, and sausage. Then they serve a meatball and potato casserole. I'm in.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I'm in. Before diving into sweets like saffron buns, I have to look this up. And rice pudding. You like rice pudding?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Do you like rice pudding hot or cold?
Either or. I can take it or leave it.
Okay.
Either way.
Do you like raisins in it or not?
I've never had it with raisins,
Ooh.
so I can't say no.
Okay. All right then. I like mine with a lot of cinnamon, and I actually like it cold.
Okay.
And the way that I learned to like it cold was when I worked at the Spanish restaurant. It was arroz con leche, and they serve it very cold, and it had a lot of cinnamon sticks infused into the milk. So I really like it.
I would probably put rum in it. So
Steven's on a rum kick.
Gotta.
Okay, I have to look at these really quickly. So it looks like kind of your basic. I said basic bread, like brioche. It doesn't really have enough butter to be brioche, but you've got milk, saffron threads, sugar, yeast, flour, salt. Oh my God, I'm in. Butter, sour cream, eggs, and raisins. Yes, I like it a lot. And then they get twirled into these little S shapes, maybe for Sweden. I don't know. If that's offensive, sorry, but I'm just making funny here.
Sweden.
In Sweden, it's S for Sweden. Yeah, I want saffron buns in my life. So I'm all about it.
Me too.
Kind of want this. So is there anything, Steve, that you've never cooked for Christmas that you always wanted to?
I can't say anything off the top of my head. I've always been a traditionalist, tamales and or like prime rib, an actual prime rib, not a rib roast.
Not a lip on ribeye. Do you get the bones? Make it like a standing rib roast, though.
I've done that
You
before.
do that with the crown. You know,
I've done that before, but I just prefer like just a boneless prime rib. Keep it simple.
Yeah. I like a lot of Dijon and very, very heavy cracked pepper on the outside of my prime rib to make that crust. And Montreal steak seasoning is like kind of my personal favorite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Something about it.
I like a good salt and pepper, but I'll put a little bit of smoked salt with my kosher salt
Mm-hmm.
for that extra little bit of kick to it. But I haven't made a prime rib in quite some time, so I'm a little overdue for it.
It's been a while for me too. I think there was a long time where smoked salt and pepper mix was my entire cooking personality. It went on
Yeah,
everything. So it went on everything. So
it works.
yeah. Guess what I'm gonna make this weekend, Steven?
I give up what?
I'm candied jalapenos with cranberries.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, just to eat on crackers with cream cheese because I want it, and I'm single, so I can just do things when I want.
For New Year's?
Nobody can tell me for a Tuesday, like for no reason except that I want them. you know.
Yep.
So, what are you doing for New Year's? Anything special food wise?
I don't know. We're going to a friend's house, but I have to work on the first, so I can't go too crazy.
Yeah,
So we'll probably I bought a little leg of lamb, so we'll probably cook that up. And I don't even know what I'm gonna do without. I need to figure something out. It'll
nice,
probably just be a good roasted leg of lamb with we'll get naan bread. We'll go hang out with some friends. Yeah, that's what we'll do.
fun. That's fun.
Yeah. What about you?
I have nothing planned. I'll eat this soup tomorrow night, and I work on New Year's as well. So I work at close on New Year's, but I'm still not going to do anything wild for New Year's Eve. So uh,
Yeah.
I doubt that this bustling metropolis, aka small town America that I moved to, has anything thrilling for New Year's Eve. Um, no offense, but also shade thrown because there ain't nothing here. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. So
The day's still young.
the day
You
still.
never know.
I'm sure it'll be just the same as any other time I go from an open shift to a closed shift, where we almost 40-year-old me goes, "Yes, I get to sleep in." That's it.
You wake up at like 6:01.
Yeah, and then I wake up at like 7:30, and the dogs are like, "Walk us," and I'm like, "I hate everything."
I'd be like, you can take yourself on a walk. Come on.
For the next 10 days, the lows go all the way to 24.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I think ours is like in the 30s. So nothing too
Mhm.
crazy. So of course we'll be making some warm food, some menudo and some I don't know what else, but let's see 34, 38, 33, 43, 44, 31. Not quite in the 20s.
I am. I'm really been in the mood for pot pie, so I think that's what's going to happen next.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it. I expect you to make a pot pie and show me what you did.
I'm not as brave as Steven is, y'all. Steve makes all this really amazing cooking content and puts it out on the internet. And every once in a while, I just send Steve a terribly placed, really poor lighting photo of whatever I'm eating, and it's usually half eaten. And then I go like, "Look at these! Look at these thing I made!" And he's like, "That's cool." So yeah,
That's
that's where we're
lovely
at.
and magnificent, and I want to eat it too.
High praise from Steven is if he texts back, "I'd eat that."
Yeah, I'll eat
pretty
that, yeah.
much, pretty much. So
I don't know how to respond to that. Like,
I don't know. No, it's not like an insult. I'm just like,
no, I know, but it's like, how do you know, like when someone tells you something and you
you're like,
respond like,
that's a
okay,
that's a crappy photo.
yeah, but no, like it's like I don't know what the
Like
right words to
you
say to be.
you make food content, so I half expect you every once in a while to be like, is that the best picture you could take of
The
this?
quality of this picture
Can
is exquisite.
can you turn the
Not only
overhead
that,
light on in your kitchen, you moron?
but I can taste every single morsel just by looking at this half lit photo.
I have the world's oldest iPhone, and it's still kicking. And I keep insisting that I don't need to replace it because it does what I need it to.
Yeah.
But I get a lot of crap about it all the time, and especially if I have to take photos of food for work, they're like, "I can you buy a different phone?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." like
We're gonna
I
start a
own
GoFundMe page for you to get a
like
new
yeah,
iPhone.
like I own this phone, so it doesn't. The bill costs me like $70 tiny dollars every month. Like I own it, not even leasing it. I just bought it, you know. So I have I
I
have
mean,
bills.
you can own it if you steal it from someone.
Oh,
Technically, then it
oh
would be
my.
you'd be the owner of it.
If we're playing white elephant rules, if it's the second time it's been stolen, then you really own it. It's frozen.
Right?
That apply to life.
From a negative to a positive.
Silver linings, y'all. Just talking about Christmas stuff. Steal something twice and it's frozen. Just don't do that. Never mind. I'm just kidding.
So. Exactly.
Steven, what are you cooking after New Year's Day? Does your schedule kind of go back to normal? Do you have any travel on the horizon?
We will be going to South Texas to the border towards the end of the month, going like into February. And so we'll go hunt, hopefully, which maybe, no, it's not even deer season. I think I'm going to miss deer season, so it's fine. We'll just go hang out, see what the big hubbub is down in the valley where I'm from, where I grew up.
Nice.
So that's about it.
Is there any place that you have to eat while you're down there, or is it all you're at family?
No, it's in San Antonio, man. That's where I got to go. So there's that.
There's nothing that you have to hit while you're in San Antonio, though? Like, if we're going to San Antonio, we have to eat this.
Depends on the day.
Okay.
If it's a weekend day, then we got to Golden Walk because they have the best dim sum ever. Yes. If it's just like a regular day, Pacific Moon because they make really good food. Yeah, those are my two. Freddy's Frozen Custard because I don't have it out here. The huge. Yeah. I will drive and eat a burger, stuff my face while I'm driving. Don't care. What about you? Any travel plans? Any post New Year, new me meals?
Yeah. Oh, there's no new me. None of us is promised tomorrow. You should make the changes you want every day. No resolutions, no after New Year's cooking, but I am going to Disney World. And I will be eating my way through a week in all the parks and Disney Springs. So more to come on that. So
we expect lots of
those will be good pictures, Steve, because pictures can only look good in Disney World. I don't make the rules.
Well, not through an iPhone.
It's the pixie dust. Even it can overcome old iPhone. I'm just saying.
Good luck.
I'm just saying. Every picture I've ever taken of food in Disney World always looks incredible.
I already know what you're going to do. You're going to ask people to take pictures and send them to you. And then you're going to forward them to you. So that way you can be like, look how great my iPhone is.
Look it. There's no shame in how tiny this is. I don't care. She's tiny. She's mine. No.
I know. I'm Android. It's almost the size
of
I remember when phones were getting really small. Now they're getting bigger.
Oh, everything's cyclical. It's the same with fashion.
Yeah, I know. Jinkos are back.
Yeah, the jeans get long and then they get short, and then they get long and then they get short. Like it's just circular. Steven, I had a really great time talking to you about Christmas dinner around the world. I hope you have a really happy New Year.
Me too. I hope you do too.
Yeah. So I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.